we suffer in our life and fail to achieve success. We focus we focus only upon the result, right? But behind the result, the success comes three things. First, that is our personal health, means the person behind the success. Very important. And the health, we can subdivide the health into three broad headings, like physical health, that is the body, how is your BMI, the body mass index, how what is your weight according to your height, and how you channelize your the energy, how you digest your food, how is your metabolism, how what you eat, and how you sleep, how many hours you sleep, how much rest you take. All these factors come into play. How much water you drink, very important in this in hot humid condition. Very important, because if you drink less water, there is a chance of having less sleep and having indigestion, having some urinary problem. Lots of patients coming nowadays. This season, especially the hard worker, with the symptoms of this burning sensation during urination. So even then, I don't have lots of fruit juice, especially the citrus fruit, the lemonades. And then comes this mental health. This concept is um, nowadays is very relevant, and we giving the most important to this mental health. Initially, in history, mental health usually uh, used to be tackled by all the gurus or the other you know when there is psychology was not that much uh, to the level. Before that, all the spiritual leaders, they used to handle this mental aspect. They used to give some mantras or some chants, some prayers, some gestures, some water, some that is enchanted in this mantra, uh, enchanted water they used to give provide. But the thing is that for uh, that thing to act or come into play, or especially relieving the symptoms of mental issues, the person who is going through the process, who is going towards the religious gurus or leader, they have to believe in that. They have to be, you know, devotee, or they have to be very much uh, fond of that thing. Otherwise, if they not believe this thing, they will not work. And then comes this modern science with these mental issues, especially the severe state, acute state, means when there is medical help needed, they need some rescue medication. But medication is problem is that you will having some sedative symptoms. When we are giving any hypnotic or psychotic drugs, especially sedatives or hypnotics, it is called, they are having some sort of side effects, like especially there is drowsiness, that is daytime sleepiness, and also in long term they are affecting the memory, their health, especially lipid profile, means that is cholesterol increase and pressure may increase, weight gain may happen, thyroid issues, lots of issues are there. So mental health, how you could understand that we are mentally health. In so once you are stress free, means the problem or the causative factors, that is you need to do something or you need to go somewhere. That factor is there because it is our part of parcel of life. It is unavoidable part of life. But if we are carried away with that stress, or we are preoccupied with that thing, means this thing is disturbing our mental ease, mental state, there is OD or something, then is a problem. Otherwise, if it's under control, because in long term, what happens if you are in stressful condition of long term, you are having some sort of health issues. That is called psychosomatic, means the mental problem causing some sort of physical problem, like you are having blood pressure increase and sugar level increase, and diabetes, or having some sleeping disturbances, having some bony disturbances, having some body ache, having some restlessness, sleeplessness, all these things, or obesity, this thing happen, right? So mental health you can tackle by simply following the few principles like having adequate sleep, having uh, detoxification, like keeping having rescheduling your means keeping some time for social media, not always be with the social media, or and having some creative activity, doing some creative activity, or helping others, giving some social you know, contribution, providing social contribution, not only me this thing, having some social contribution, read some book, do exercise, because when we exercise, this mind and body has been integral part. When we do exercise, we are secreting some good hormones, endorphins, and serotonin levels, this thing, and we are relieving the stress, catecholamines, and this thing, and cortisol. So we're improving our uh, psychology, because physiology is psychology. When physically you're tired, right? We are coming from severe stress, or we're mentally down, right? Mental energy is really poor. So we need rest. This automatically, this nature has created. We take rest, but that is not the true rest, because we may doze sometime, even for some time, but when we come back to our awareness, we are countering with the same factors, the stimuli, that is stress. Oh, after doing this thing, I have to go uh, there, or meet some people person, or do some work. This thing actually engrossed in our brain, and we are driven by our work, our stress, and this work. We don't have any control over our thinking, over our mind. So this thing goes on, and we are caught up with this thing, and that's why we fall prey to the disease. And there is physical disease, or this thing starts with the mental state. So mental health, you should uh, take it seriously, because in modern science, especially the developed country, they are very much you know, conscious about the mental health. They are pursuing good food habits, because in India, in ancient India especially, they have mastered the mind. They have mastered all the senses and all these things. How they understand what is the desire, what is the connection with that, with the senses, with the what are the connection with the you know uh, connection of that with the mind. So they actually uh, the ancient philosophy of India, actually they discovered the truth. But with they during this Western colonial era, especially British people, philosophers, all they um, decoded this thing, our scriptures, our slokas, and other ancient philosophy, and they incorporated that with their system of education, with their knowledge system, with their supreme uh, wisdom that is available in the literature. But we are following their old lifestyle. That's why we are caught up with their old disease pattern. Like if you see today's world, lots of Indian having hypertension, diabetes, everybody almost invariably after 40, 45, even 34, 35 years old people, especially male, having especially Bengali, if you see, are having this sort of problem, health issues. Very sad, because we have operated on a patient today, a 34-year case, that is having some uh, type 2 diabetes, means that is acquired diabetes. So it's very sad if you see, but what is the reason behind that? BT is stress free. It's one of the way to be specific. Obviously, the meditation is not easy thing to do for the beginners, because I once I tried to help a person, my colleague, to meditate, but for a few seconds he just closes his eye and then he's open suddenly. So initially, if you go through a step to uh, to the proper method of meditation, it may not help. So before that, you have to go through some sort of prerequisite thing, right? Like for everything, like before the test there is pre-test, before the Olympic there is pre-Olympic. Means some prerequisite things are there for going through the process. So then, if you work on the mental health, then comes the spiritual health. Means when you're mental free, but all happiness. If you're happy, you are stress free. May not you are uh, able to channelize that energy that within us. For that, we need some spiritual energy. Spiritual energy means that there's something beyond us. We are caught up with our willpower. Means we have the limitation. This our knowledge and our power is from the knowledge, right? We have the limited access to the knowledge. But the universe, that is called supreme consciousness, or the all pervasive Brahma. In Taoism, there is also, it is called Tao. Tao means the all pervasiveness. There is thing, there is your consciousness that is existed in every being, and as well as everything, and it is like Brahma, like supreme consciousness. Because when we um, go beyond our limited knowledge or limited consciousness awareness, and for that you have to go and on top of our mind, I have to go, right? If you understand how our mind works, how is the limitation of mind, then we can channelize the spiritual energy, and that is the supreme energy. And through that thing, lots of people, that they are called siddha, they can and do some miraculous thing with that power. It is, if you go through the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, you can understand. But for that, you need a guide and practice that. So, spiritual energy means, for example, if you do something or some contribution to the society, or help someone, we get some instant energy, because we are not doing for our well-being, or for us, but we are getting some joy, like. And or something you helped, and they acknowledge that, and say something, you know for out of gratitude, some like some comment that is good thing about someone, or you have helped that person. So there is this spiritual energy in the nutshell. Not only that you being religious or going to some god and begging something from that god or goddess, or whatever, for our betterment. That is not the spiritual thing. That is a different thing. So when you completed this health part, then comes this relationship. It's very important. Relationship means not only the person in concern, or what we are dealing with, the means how we are interacting, or how we are respecting to each other. That is not the only thing. Only the inanimate thing. There is the thing that is not having life. They are also important. For example, I suffered accident, severe accident. The car has got severely damaged, and then, but it is a inanimate thing, right? It's a material thing. But I got so much, hurt, or so much saddened by that incident, that it is like people having a pet, or someone we are somebody of our very close got got some injury through the accident. It's same feeling. because even if you bought some new car or some new motorbike and got some, imagine that you got bought fresh new car and or some scratch, it's like scratching your heart, your body, like there is no difference. But why? Because we human being, when attach something, there is our life or our emotion attached with that thing, and they become animated. Even if one example I will give, that see the film artist, we never sometimes never um, make a handshake or meet in lifetime, never met with him or her. But when that actor or actress is died, we really feel very sad, and like Sushant Rajput. Lots of fan I have noticed that they really got emotional and mourning, and this emotional turmoil happen with them because they are attached to that guy. He is very good guy, very promising and very brilliant actor. So even if you see the kid, they can, if within 3 years they can differentiate the thing is living or non-living, and that thing also in our brain, that thing, that that imprint present in our head. So we can differentiate when we are love or we are attached to something. We do not consider this living or non-living. Something we lost a mobile or some watch or something you love, like even in umbrella, there is expensive pretty umbrella that you are loving, or your goggles you lost. Feel some emotional thing, right? But you can buy that for the moment. You will feel the grief or the loss of loss of the thing. You'll feel some uh, bad thing, but on a certain time you can buy though. It's not very expensive that you can buy, but in spite of that, you feel very sad because you are attached to your uh, attached and you are in love on some relationship with that thing. So my intention is that relationship is very important, and for any relation, especially the living being, or especially the near and dear ones, you have to. It's like mm, tendering, tendering and nurturing a tree. Like it's take time. So, but we as a human being take, especially in this world, today's world, so hurry and this instant result we want. We expect something very fast, and if we do something, we immediately expect something in return. Is reciprocation we expect. That's the thing. It will take time. So to change anybody when you are in relation or in love, to make them have, make sense in them, you have to be very sensitive and take your time, and 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 before giving an advice and suggestion, and think about is it the right time, or is it if you're a right person, or your way of suggestion is correct or not. Take time, because once this thing is very, it's like fragile, like glass wire. It's unspoken, is very difficult to make thing happen. Remake the thing, make up the thing. So very important in the life journey is the relationship. Most of the people, especially in today's world, there is relationship are falling. There is people are in tremendous mental agony, and acquiring lots of diseases, and especially mental issues, and having suicidal tendency, getting addicted to the substances, alcohol or other smoky means tobacco like or thing. So we have to understand and give the space, and understand, and also separate the incidents, because when some incident happen, we keep that in our memory, the past experiences we keep in our memory, and we correlate that incident with that person, but the incident and person is not similar. because the person doing the thing may not be in the state of totally mental free. He or she may be in a different state. In that state, if you empathetically feel that you are in the same position, putting yourself in that place, in his or her place, and if you judge them from that point of view, then you will understand if what they have done, you could have done the same thing. So you have to more before coming into conclusion or making a comment, if you consider that. But in the flow of the event, or in the flow of the incident, sometimes we caught up with the our anger issues, and we make some rude comments or harsh comment, hard word, and it on philosopher sword there is words and swords, uh, both having all the 5 letters are similars. Okay, so 4 or 5 letters source, SWORDS. Okay, 5 letters, and also the words similar letter, but more are very powerful. It can, if you can't use it controlling, this properly you handle it, it can cause severe injury. Like with swords, you will having physical injury, but with words, you will have emotional or mental injury. So very interesting thing. So in relationship also, always keep in mind there is the respect is the first thing, and then comes the trust and the love and this thing. And love is different thing. It is a spiritual thing because it give you a stress-free peace. Then comes this your self-image. Self-image is what? Self-image is when you see yourself in the mirror, what comes in your mind, what reflection inside your mind is happening. Your face, you can, the mirror reflects your face appearance external. We mostly see if you are looking good or not, we are having some skin issues or some wrinkle issues or having some graying issues. This thing we superficially judge, but if you feel like it's more energetic, we feel more positive or we feel confident, this thing happen or not. That is very important. And another thing is that when self-image is like when you look yourself or see yourself when nobody is there in your room, because our self-image we find most of the time in other people's comment or words or narrations. So when we sit ourselves in a single uh, room, or you only with ourselves, that time what we see ourselves is a self-image, very important. And our self-image is the determinant of our uh, dealing with the failure and success, our relationship, our health and everything, right? If you see obese and this thing, and we get taken aback with that health issues, we feel low self-image having because of obesity and this thing, and will feel ashamed to go gym and taking care of our health. We'll run away, or we'll um, leave the effort to to improve our health. And also the mind health, the mental health is the same. If somebody is saying negative about us, and that thing really means you can't do this, you are not good enough, you can't help. Especially in childhood days, it happened. Especially in upbringings in our culture and society, that you can do this thing. It is not uh, under your capacity, and you are not good enough for this. This thing happened, and that thing, especially in childhood days, if it happened with someone, it crash is your kind of confidence, is ruin the life. And very important is self-image, and is self-image actually hot. Self-image is your 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 belief system, belief in yourself, your belief, your that is shows your confidence, and 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 above all, that is your values you put. Means what are the values that is comes first in your life? What are the things you give the more priority, and if and stick to that values, this thing altogether, and your society, your upbringing, your parents or your environment, your teaching, your customs, your religion, your culture, this thing actually altogether make your self-image, and that is very important. And that is the determinant, because your self-image, if it is poor, if it is self-image your um, like like a serviceman or job worker, and you are doing something as a businessman, means your mindset is like a service person, job person, it's 9 to 5 mindset, but you are doing a business, then that will reflect in your business, and vice versa also true. So lots of teachers today's, and also doctors, every professional, they are having some mindset of businessman, but they're serving the community, and this discrepancy is hampering. So keep in mind that thing, and then comes the last success. Success is a continuous process, because when we achieve something, when we desire, we feel successful, but tiny success happens sometimes. Big success means there is total a transformation happening in yourself, means there is a determinant for a long term your happiness, your achievement, that thing will feel success. But success and fulfillment is not similar. Fulfillment means you may not achieve something, but you are happy. Your fulfillment depends on your three aspects: your health, your wealth, and your relationship with the person, family. If these things you're successful, then his fulfillments come. Otherwise, because success is a continuous process, because it depends on the person and the situation. Once we achieve something, we feel successful, but some in long run, when we already achieved that and enjoy the fruit of that success, then that success get invalid, and we look for another success or another thing. But most of the time, we lost our direction, our purpose, and our mission in life, and we, we actually uh, make make a while or any circle around this, like a asteroid with no purpose. We live our life. We sometimes something appeared before us. We think that it is very, it's called shiny object syndrome, is very interesting. It is very, and that is the thing we are looking for. But when time pass by, then we'll notice that it is of no use. And that's the thing. So if the other three parts, means your health is good, means the three aspects of health, your relationship is good, and then your self-image is good, then success will actually come, and success after success make him great. So we don't we if we focus on success, then other thing will be vanished, because we'll lose out, because especially if we run after success, then we'll give less importance to the relationship, less important to the health, less important to our image, how people how people are thinking about us. It doesn't matter that people are thinking about us, but it's important is how we are feeling, we are seeing ourselves. So yes, success will automatically happen. Don't focus on success. So Gita says, "Karmanne badhikaraste ma phale shirvarachana." For the sake of work, you do work, and don't focus on the result. So actually, if you if we do properly the work, yes, the result will come. Na? If we sow something in the field, like if you sow the paddy in the field, it will brought up the paddy, right? It will not brought up the wheel. So wheat. So like if you put a seed of mango, it will give the mango, right? Not the pineapple. So that's the thing. Means what we, that is the law of karma, or Newton's law is similar. There is every action has got like opposite action reaction. So we don't understand sometimes, but uh, the basic principle we sometimes we um, right moment we can use that in our life, but for that you need to practice meditation or mindfulness meditation. Meditation is different, very wide subject. You just practice one type of meditation and take care of health. And if you, those who don't know, I am Dr. Subodh, MS Master in Surgery. After doing, means practicing medicines for last around 20 years. So now I'm in mission to help millions of people to live a healthy, fulfilled life, joyful, healthy, peaceful life. So if you are interested and if you want to learn and go through the personal transformation and massive success, live a fulfilled life, please contact me in the description below. Thank you.